Are you an investigative professional? Did you know you can find the best private investigator resources using investigatorstoolbox.com? This resource community was built exclusively for licensed investigators and investigative professionals. You can network directly with members, educate yourself through free webinars and blogs, and even create your own customizable research library. Membership starts for as little as 49 cents a day. Download the Investigator's Toolbox app or visit our webpage at www.investigators-toolbox.com.
Are you an investigative professional with an international problem you can't solve? Conflict International has the knowledge and relationships to jump in for you. We compensate investigators for referring cases to our office. Contact us today for details. Conflict International uses insight, intelligence, investigation, risk management, and strategic solutions to solve problems troubling individuals and companies of all kinds, anywhere around the world. Whether you're planning to hire a person to a position of trust, carry out due diligence on a company, trace hidden assets, or require skilled boots on the ground, Conflict International investigators can seamlessly pursue a case across borders, offering a truly global solution. Find out about our extensive range of services at conflictinternational.com. Conflict International, global reach, international knowledge. This week on PI Perspectives, we're trying something a bit different. Matt welcomes PI Mark Askins to the show. Mark's based out of Washington State and does work with a great nonprofit called Miracle Messages. Find out how an investigator can help homeless people reconnect with their loved ones. So please welcome Mark Askins and your host, private investigator Matt Spaier.
And welcome everyone to this week's episode of PI Perspectives. This is Matt Spaier, your host. Today we're going to try something different. I'm going to interview somebody I've never actually met before, somebody who I've been trading emails back and forth with. But he's involved with a really cool nonprofit, which we'll get into later on in the show. But he's a private investigator and somebody who obviously volunteers a lot of his time and is involved in a very cool thing. So I want to welcome Mark Askins to the program. Mark, how are you?
Hey, doing great. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, you are a West Coast guy, and we've actually never met in person, but we've traded a few.
Yeah,
emails, right? So
exactly. Hopefully we'll meet soon. Yeah.
Maybe. We'll see one day.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about your background. How'd you get into the business?
Yeah. So the old fashioned way, nepotism. It was my dad started our family PI firm called J.H. Askins Company back in 1969 in the Bay Area. Just a one-man band, and then over the years it grew, primarily doing workers' comp and general liability. And then I joined him after college in '88, and my career as a PI took off from there. It was supposed to be a summer job with family business and turned into a very long summer.
Yeah, very long summer. So what did you go to school for? What were your plans?
Yeah, so I went to school at a small liberal arts school called the University of Puget Sound up in Tacoma, Washington, and studied poli-sci and history. And my plan was to go on to law school, and but working with my dad, the joy of working with him and the work we were doing just ended up staying on.
Yeah, I had a similar route. I did the whole prep to go to law school and studied for it, took the LSATs, thought it was really
right.
cool. That was going to be my future. And then just one day I had this moment where I was like, I don't want to do this. I just want to do the investigative stuff. It's more interesting.
Exactly. I mean, I think we both really dodged a bullet there.
Yeah. All my lawyer friends tell me that.
Yeah, exactly.
What are you going to do? So that's cool. So, the Bay Area is it's a big area, and there's lots of different types of investigative work to do. So
tremendous. Yeah.
Your firm that you work for your dad, was there a particular area that you specialized in?
So we had about at its pinnacle, about 20 investigators spread throughout Northern California, Central California, primarily working on workers' comp and general liability. So we had a AOE, COE going out, taking statement team, about 10 people doing that. Then we had 10 people doing the surveillance side. And I primarily did the field work, did a lot of field work on high profile, high value cases, high exposure cases.
Right. I guess Dad could trust you, right?
Yeah, exactly. Right.
He's going to show up for work.
Oh, yeah.
He knows where you live, right?
Oh, definitely. And I was living with him, my wife and I, for a period there. So living and working, and yeah, so.
That's great. What did you find most challenging when you started doing it?
Good question. One of the biggest things was trying to build a sense of rapport and with the person I'm sitting down with. So building that sense of trust, coming into somebody's house, asking them very personal questions, especially if it's a psychiatric claim. In California, we have a lot of psych claims, so covering everything from their finances to medical issues to how their kids are doing, and trying to make people feel comfortable, and as much as possible with sharing that information.
Right.
And so I think that was kind of something that I built up over time, building that, how to engage with people and giving them the time to tell their stories, being present with them, basically. And,
so tell me a little bit about that psych claim, because that's new to me. I haven't not been.
Yeah. Yeah. So a psychiatric claim in California, and in a few other states, but it's primarily in California, you're allowed to file a claim for stress created at work. And back when I was first getting started, it could be as simple as you got a bad review from your supervisor.
Right.
And it's like, oh my gosh, I'm so stressed out now. I can't focus. I need to see a mental health professional. I need time off from work. You need to give me tens of thousands of dollars because I'll never be the same.
Right.
So we would the insurance company or the third party administrator, the law firm would send us out and gather information from the person who filed the claim, from their coworkers, from their supervisor, to get a sense as to, if their claim has any merit. And and there were, a bunch of different factors and changes in the laws during the time that I was an investigator, where it got to the point where they had to show that the predominant factor causing their stress was work. Before that, all you had to show was like 10%, which any of us could do. 10% of the stress in our life is work. Yeah, I can reach that threshold. Right, exactly.
If you're a business owner, I think it's a little more than 10%.
Oh my gosh, tremendously. Yeah. And so that changed over time, and then keeping up with the changes in the legislation, in the court cases that were coming out, both from the Court of Appeals, California Court of Appeals, and then in California, we have the Workers' Compensation Appeals Board.
Right.
That is its own separate jurisdiction. And so change is taking place there. Yeah.
I gotta wonder if the owners of businesses can file claims for their employees, stressing them out. Because
wouldn't that be ideal? Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Those sleepless nights, and yeah. No, it's I've been through that a lot, dealing with you can never turn it off. Going on vacation, what's a vacation? Because it's your business is still back, you're worried about how many cases are coming in, if it's too busy, if it's too slow.
Yeah, it's funny. One of my guys is about to go on vacation, and my people don't stress me out. That was a joke. But one of my guys is going on vacation. He's going away for a long time. I mean, he's going away for like a month. I mean, well earned. Take the time. And like the ongoing joke back and forth with him and I is like, he's like, I should take my laptop, right? I was like, don't take your laptop. Because I think I should take my laptop. I think you're gonna need me. I'm like, dude, do not take your laptop.
Like, what a good guy you are. Yeah. No, that's brilliant, because it's, I mean, that's the way I would feel when, our ace investigators would either, get pregnant, and it's like, oh my gosh, please tell me you're coming back after this hiatus. We need you. Our clients love you. So that's I can definitely feel that.
Yeah, I wanted him to have a break because you work so hard in this business. There's no off time. You got to be accessible by your phone. 10, 11 o'clock at night, and that's when business gets done. If you call somebody and they call you back, you don't let it roll to voicemail. You pick it up and you deal with what you have to deal with. You need to call somebody on the weekend. You deal with it. It's just part of the nature of the business.
And our surveillance people, when we would constantly amaze me, their creativity and blending in and their commitment to the job. So following somebody on a Saturday morning, not sure where they're going to go, you pick them up and they end up driving 5 hours away to a ski resort. And, we had that happen a few times, and our investigators, would either have a set of skis with them or would rent it. And they were just, brilliant. I mean, in terms of their creativity and diligence and just passion for the job.
Got to be ready for anything, right?
Yep, that's so true.
So I assume that all this interviewing and this face-to-face developing of information, that you've done over the years has lent to this project that you're involved with, which we'll get into after the break here, dealing with a homeless issue, which I think is amazing. So why don't we tease it a little bit before we take a break? Tell me a little bit about that nonprofit and how you got involved with it.
Yeah, so it's called Miracle Messages, miraclemessages.org. And a friend of mine in Hawaii read an article about the founder, Kevin Adler, and in the New York Times. And she contacted me and said, Mark, with your investigative prowess and with your heart, this is right up your alley. I think you'd be a great fit for it. So that's kind of reading the article and learning more about their mission and vision was just like, oh my gosh, this is brilliant.
Yeah, that's really cool. We're going to take a break right here, but when we come back, I really want to dig in and talk more about that and how it lines up with the investigator and what the role and function is, because it's a pretty good sized nonprofit. If you look at their board and their trustees, they've got, or advisors, they got a lot of people involved with it. So everybody sit tight and we will be right back.
The summer's here, and that means it's time to bundle discounts with the Investigator Education Consultants. Bundles are available on the fundamentals of the profession, gumshoe talent, putting it all together, hard-time crime, and pocketbook crime. If you purchase any of these combinations, you'll receive a 10% discount by using the code BUNDLE, BUNDLE. Visit the website at investigationeducation.com. That's investigationeducation.com.
You guys have been hearing for a long time about how much I love Crosstracks, but now you're going to hear from somebody else. So we got George Gerges here. George is a member and a user of Crosstracks. George, tell me real quickly what you love about Crosstracks.
The simplicity of using it and the ability to customize everything that you could do with Crosstracks is awesome. It actually allowed me to take the way that I do my business and implement it into their system. And not only am I able to manage 10 or 15 cases, I'm able to manage 50 to 100 cases with the same effort.
Fantastic. So Crosstracks, the case management system, they are SOC 2 certified. Basically, that's an encryption really an upgrade. They're the only ones out there that are doing it. So please support this great sponsor that supports our show. Check them out. The links are in the show notes. Crosstracks, if you're an investigator, you should be using them today.
Looking for an insurance agent that puts you first? Every PI business is different. That's why OREP Insurance can shop multiple markets to ensure you get the best coverage to meet your unique business needs. OREP's model is business by the golden rule, and for over 20 years, they've built their business by putting their clients first. So come enjoy a fast online application and same-day certificates of insurance at OREP.org. OREP has coverage for armed investigators, executive protection, and even has a separate policy for security firms. The application takes less than 5 minutes, so visit OREP.org today. OREP.org.
I want to talk to everybody today about ScopeNow.com. ScopeNow has been a big-time sponsor of this program for quite some time, and I just love their service. I've been using them since the beginning. I'm one of their beta customers, and it's been so awesome to see them grow into the business that they are today, and just how they just keep reinventing themselves and pushing themselves to get more and more information. What it comes down to is ScopeNow is a tool that you definitely need to use if you do social media investigations, any internet research, and really spending less time digging around and looking for information. I think is one of the best points of how ScopeNow can help you. Their AI platform, their analytics are amazing. You really get an idea of what you need. You're reducing the time, you're reducing the manpower that you're spending on doing this research, because they're essentially doing it for you, and they're doing it correctly, which is most important. One of the new things that they're actually offering is this flagging system where you can flag behaviors and really highlight and look out for fraud. If you're doing a lot of fraud research, this is a fantastic tool, and you can set up alerts. So you have particular people that you're looking at, you can actually set up alerts to get notifications when the criteria that you set up is actually is flagged and goes off. It's really, really amazing. And their relationship and association analytics are top notch, really cutting edge and really, really cool. When they brought that out on version 3, it was a game changer. I mean, really being able to see how people interact together and having that relationship, analysis is really, really something that's cool. One of the other things about being involved with ScopeNow is their ability to offer webinars. Their team is cutting edge on putting together and getting out really, really great content. If you're a member of ScopeNow, if you know who they are, you've seen them around on LinkedIn, you'll know that they're constantly doing webinars on these new websites that are coming out, and they're really staying on top of it. And don't forget, any reports that you generate, you can actually white label those reports and put your own logos on and really make them look professional, which could equate to more billing for you as well. So check them out today. It's www.scopenow.com. They're a great, great company. They should be one of the tools in your toolbox, along with whatever kind of search engines you do. You need to make sure that ScopeNow is a part of that suite. Scopenow.com.
Are you going to the NALI conference this week in Kentucky? Make sure to stop by the Investigator's Toolbox table and say hi to Matt. And check out the latest issue of PI Magazine, available online or via hard copy. Visit PIMagazine.com to learn more.
And welcome back to PI Perspectives. This is Matt Spaier, your host. Today we're doing a special show. We are focusing on Miracle Messages. It's a nonprofit organization. And we have a private investigator, Mark Askins, who's in Washington now, originally from the Bay Area in California. Mark, I want to welcome you back to the program.
Hey, thanks so much. Great to be with you.
Thanks for being here. So before we took a break, we started to talk about this nonprofit, Miracle Messages. You had mentioned how a friend of yours saw an article and thought it'd be a good idea for you to get involved with this. Tell me the mission statement of this nonprofit. What exactly do they do?
So their mission and vision is to assist individuals who are experiencing housing insecurity. What that can mean, living on the street or in a shelter, to living in a single room occupancy, small apartment, who are longing to reconnect with their family members, and friends, the people that remind them of a better time in their life. So, and that's what it is, it's a very simple mission, one that we can all relate to, I think, where there's been times when we've become separated from, friends from our neighborhood, friends from school, and we think about them periodically, and wonder what they're doing. You check Facebook, they aren't on Facebook. And, but yeah, just to be able to, I think we've all felt that pang of wanting to reconnect with people.
Yeah. And I think it just takes it to another level, because these are people that are indigent, right? People that
exactly
maybe have lost their cell phone. All their contact information is gone. Maybe there is some sort of mental illness that's involved too, and good days and bad days. It's interesting as investigators, as field investigators, people that are out on the street that deal with these things, you come across individuals that are in these situations. And, for me, it's always impactful. Like, how did this person get to this particular point? Like, it doesn't make sense to me. Is their family not taking care of them? Is there, what led them to end up that way? And everybody's always got a story. There's always a reason why that happens. And, as investigators, we get contacted by family members to find people out on the street. That happens. There's a guy in New York who's really great at it, John Fariso, really, really good for some investigations. He's like a missing persons guy, right? And he gets calls with people that, are looking for loved ones that they're out on the street.
Yep.
And it's like, where do you begin? Right. So first, as investigators, right, we have to interview, right? We got to make sure that, that this is for legitimate purposes. And then, when you contact these individuals, let's say you do find somebody who's out on the street or whatever, you have to ask them whether or not they even want to talk to the people that are looking for them. Right. That's ethically, that's the right thing to do. Right.
Oh, of course. Ours is a double opt-in as well. So for individuals that are experiencing homelessness, that we're helping to locate their loved ones, whether they be family members or friends or mentors or people that they served with in the military, whoever it might be. It's something when we let them know that the other person has to kind of welcome and approve of the contact and us sharing their contact information,
right?
Which is important. That's and then we also offer our services to people who are family members of those experiencing homelessness.
Right.
As you pointed out, the investigators who do that as well. So helping them locate their parents, their siblings, or children who they haven't seen in can be decades, right. Trying to search for them and reconnecting them.
Yeah, I mean it's such an interesting thing, because they're different reasons that these things happen. Like everything's different. I've even had cases. I had one recently where the attorney was about to go to trial for this particular person's case, and they were homeless. They were out on the street. They were gone. We were trying to locate this particular person, and the family would not help. Like, they were not interested in us finding this particular person, which was really strange. And the attorney ended up settling the case. So this person who still, we can't find them.
Oh my gosh.
They got some money coming from them.
Yeah.
I had another situation where one of my researchers located somebody who was out on the streets, but had this thing where she played bingo every Tuesday at a particular hall.
Yeah.
And the family, like, they didn't want to talk to her. They didn't want to deal with her. They thought she was like out of it, but they're like, well, if you want to find her, go there on Tuesday.
Oh my gosh. Oh, exactly. Yep.
Or, look at this road, like drive up and down this road, and I guarantee you, if you see a woman, she'll fits the description of who you're looking for. Like, that's her. Cause we don't know where she's living, but we know she loves bingo. Right.
Right. Oh, exactly. Yeah. And and as you pointed out, there's so many different reasons why people become separated. As you indicated, loss of a cell phone. For all of us now, all of our contact information is on a cell phone. Nobody remembers anybody's phone numbers anymore. So if somebody on the street loses their phone, they've lost everything. They've lost, the social security number, if they keep it in there. They've lost their parents' number, everybody else's number. So I'd say about a third of the cases we get are those where people tell us, I'm trying to reconnect with my mom and dad. I was talking with them up until last month when I lost my phone, and now I can't, I don't have their numbers or any way you can help me find it. And it's a fairly quick searching a variety of databases and pulling up the information.
So I would assume it falls under the lines of permissible purposes, right? Of using those databases, right?
Well, that's an excellent point. So we have looked into using several of these kind of PI exclusive or law enforcement type databases out there. And talking to attorneys, they have told us that it doesn't fall within the permissible purpose. So we're left with dealing with kind of public type databases or subscription like ancestry.com or been verified, or that have some good information, but not the type that I have access to through other means.
Yeah, I guess it would be case specific, right? Some of them probably do fall under those guidelines, right? If there's some sort of civil litigation going on and they're involved as a potentially somebody who's entitled to get compensation, that would fall.
Oh yeah. Oh, definitely.
If they were a witness to something that would fall under the line.
Yep.
But if I just want to see Johnny from high school and make sure they're okay, that probably is not a good
exactly one. And probate cases, we tried arguing that if they're entitled as an heir in the future to their a portion of their family's estate, something to that effect, it would be permissible. But it's
I think that the probate hearings had like that person should have probably passed, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Not dead yet.
Right. Yeah. If you don't have standing. Yeah, exactly.
Grandma Betty's gonna die, so we need to find out where Joe. She'll die eventually, right?
We're just waiting for her yet. But it's and I mean, some of the reunions are just incredible. I mean, we end up contacting the loved one that they've been trying to find. I had one a few years ago where this individual who'd been homeless for 30 years, Mick in the Bay Area, was trying to find his mom, Polly, who had given him up for adoption when he was 5. And it ended up he had had a medical condition. She wasn't able to afford to get him treatment, so she turned over his care to somebody from her church. They lost contact. So after 58 years, we were able to locate his mom.
Wow.
And he had these, memories, very vague memories as a 5-year-old of his mom and an older brother. And so I was able to look through old ledger books and found an annulment case involving his mom and dad back in the 50s. He used that and was able to bring it forward to 2018 when I found her, and calling her on the phone and saying, this is who I am and this is why I'm calling. And just that sense of disbelief, that sense of joy, the impact on this. She was 85 at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And just like, are you serious? You're calling about there hasn't been a day when I haven't thought about Mick and hoped that he was doing well and dreamt about reconnecting with him. And thanks to the Alameda County Sheriff's Department in California, they flew us up to Eureka, where Polly, his mom, was. And Mick and I spent the afternoon with Polly, and they continue to talk on a weekly basis, and they're back in each other's lives. And
very cool.
Yeah.
So I'm curious, like, when you contacted this nonprofit, did they have an investigator already working with them, or is this like a new idea that you said, hey, I'm willing to do this. Let's make it work?
Yeah, excellent question. And that was, they hadn't thought of it. At that point, they were strictly working with people, individuals from the community who wanted to help out, who may not have had any experience doing genealogical research or any type of, professional investigations. They were just individuals that wanted to make a direct impact on the lives of their unhoused neighbors.
Right.
And so when I told them, hey, I would love to be able to share the skills that I've honed over the past 30 years to work with you, they just kind of said, yes, please.
Right.
We want to, we need you. We didn't know we needed you, but we are desperate. Yeah.
So are you the only one on staff there that does the research, or are there other people that do it too?
So I'm the only staff member doing it currently. We've had a couple of PIs in the past who have worked as volunteers, but we would love to increase our stable of volunteers, of experienced investigators, from that do genealogy work, who do those missing person type cases, to lend their skill sets. And for those people for those investigators who are looking to engage in a volunteer capacity, who want to give back to, that was something that I had always been looking for, a means to share my skills with an organization. And it's been a perfect fit as an investigator.
Yeah. So, how would you recommend somebody who had a passion to do this kind of work? How would they start doing it? Is this something where they reach out to you, or reach out to the organization there?
Yeah, I would love it if they could reach out to me. And the great thing is it's on a case by case basis, so they can pick up a case and work on it, an hour or two during a week, find the loved one. And the best bet is to reach out to me, and I can share my contact information if you'd like.
Yeah, we'll have it in the show notes, but
great.
Folks, what's your email?
So my email is mark@miraclemessages.org. And we're doing this throughout the US, Canada. We're getting requests. We've had requests from people in Africa to locate family members.
Any Nigerian princes? Stay away from those guys.
Exactly.
Something tells me they're up to no good.
Yeah, no, exactly. And it's, we've gotten some really good media, some press out of our reconnections, both in the Bay Area and then in other metropolitan areas and nationally as well. We were recently featured on the PBS NewsHour, and we've been on CBS This Morning and a few other national.
So would you say, like, somebody who wants to gain some experience in this, maybe they're new to the field or they're just fresh off just getting started, would you train them on how to do this type of research and how to kind of get this done, or do you expect people that are volunteering to kind of know what they're doing already?
No, that's a great question, and I end up I have office hours where I train people how to do this, work through cases together. So if people have ever, done if they've ever had a passion or an interest in doing this work, this is a great place to kind of get some experience and to be able to hone their skills and to learn from me and some of the other volunteers that we have. And it's just, once you solve your first case and you see the impact that it makes, that direct impact, and not only on the person experiencing homelessness, but on their family members who all of a sudden are reunited with their loved ones. It doesn't work that way on every single case. A lot of times people will say, hell no, I've put myself out there so many times for them and they burned so many bridges. But, another one that comes to mind, we had this individual, Charlie, who was homeless in Fort Lauderdale, and he wanted to reconnect with somebody he had fought with in Vietnam as an 18-year-old. They were on the front lines. They were manning machine guns together. And they promised that they would stay in touch, and they had lost contact. And he had his name, he had his approximate date of birth. I was able to locate him and reconnect the two of them after 50 years.
Wow.
And the impact that it made on both of their lives to have that presence back in their lives after somebody who truly understood the nightmares that they were having, and from that time, and also the joys, that connection that they made so many years ago.
Right. Well, I think we're going to wind down here, man. So thank you so much for coming on and just bringing light to, this nonprofit and what they're doing. So it's Miracle Messages is the name of the nonprofit organization. We'll have a link in the show notes for that. Again, a kind of a different show here, something a little to left field, but this is a great cause, and it's interesting that you're using your skill set, something that a lot of people that listen to this program have those skill sets, and we don't realize, the way we can volunteer and give back and help out along the way, and just trying to reconnect people and make the world a better place, right?
Well, yeah, and I'll toss this in there here as well, but it's also a great marketing tool. It comes from the heart, but to be able to have your company and yourself associated with an organization that gives back like this, and put that up on your
website or wherever, and
it really speaks volumes to your character and your passion. So
definitely. All right, Mark, thank you so much for coming on. Thank you everyone for tuning into the show and being faithful listeners and just weekly turning on and showing up. So we'll catch everybody next week on the next show. Have a great week.
Thank you, Mark, for joining us today, and we also like to thank Crosstracks, OREP, Investigator Education Consultants, Scope Now, Conflict International, and Nally for sponsoring the show. So please support our great supporters. And don't forget to check out the Investigator's Toolbox. Now's the time to get on board and join the fastest growing digital community for investigative professionals. Use code PIP201836 to save 10% on membership when you join. If you have a question or a comment about the show, email Matt at matthews@satellitepi.com. You can also find him on LinkedIn, Instagram, and Facebook. We want your feedback to bring you the best shows possible. And we'll be back next week with a new show, so make sure you tune in and stay safe out there.